beat writer Jeff Fletcher joining us right now. He covers LA for the SoCal News Group. And Jeff, I was just telling Lefko, and we were just telling our listeners that one of the biggest stories heading out of the All-Star game, yes, of course, it was Julio from the home run derby the day prior, and Julio being the star all week, but Shohei Ohtani getting those chants, talking about Seattle. It's got people dreaming. Tell us about just what it's been like covering Shohei so far.
It's been pretty incredible. I try not to take it for granted at any time. He does something that nobody has done in 100 years, and really even better than Babe Ruth 100 years ago, because Babe Ruth kind of didn't really want to do it, and it only lasted for 2 years. So it's been really amazing, and I hope it continues.
Jeff, we have seen it a little bit when the Angels come to Seattle, but nothing like the attention that we saw. And it was really eye-opening the last couple of days, seeing the entire media throng and the chaos around Shohei Ohtani. From being around him pretty much day in and day out, have you noticed that? Does that wear on him at all? I mean, how does he handle just that constant surge of attention all the time?
Well, he's got a pretty good situation with the Angels where they sort of shield him from a lot of it. So, I mean, he only basically does interviews after he pitches.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of media hanging around and taking pictures of him and stuff, but they really don't bother him too much. So I think that he's kind of living around it, but not really in it. So that's kind of how he handled it.
So forgive me if this is a question that we already have an answer to publicly. I'm not closely following some of the Angels' plans with Ohtani, but what have they said about any of their intentions to either trade him or find a way to extend him this year?
Well, they would like to re-sign him. They're definitely clear on that. They pretty much have said they're not going to trade him because they want to try to win this year. Now, all those things they were saying when they were playing much better. So, they were sitting in a wild card spot 10 games ago, and then they went 1-9, and now they're like 4 teams have passed them. So their prospects look much different than they did 10 games ago. So we'll see what happens in the next 16 games between now and the trading deadline. I still can't imagine they would trade him because I think that really closes the door on them re-signing him, and I think they still really want to re-sign him. So we'll just have to see what happens.
Yeah, Jeff, kind of wanted to get into that a little bit. So it sounds like you don't think anything that will happen will change their perceptions before August 1st, before the deadline. But if this struggle continues, as a franchise, as an organization, do you think they're at least maybe kind of in paper or lightly sketching out, okay, what could a possible return be? I imagine it would be the world, right? Like, what do you think the Angels could get if they go to a team and say, you know what, we do want to talk to you about the potential of trading Shohei Ohtani?
Well, I mean, I think that's a big misconception a lot of people have as far as getting the world back for him because he's a rental at this point. So somebody is going to get him for 2 months. So it's going to be the most expensive rental in baseball history, but still that's a rental. And it's not like, with Juan Soto when he was traded last year, he had 3 pennant races left. So there's a big difference between having 3 left and 1. So, the thing I always look at is when the Dodgers got Max Scherzer and Trey Turner. I think that's the closest you can come to approximating Ohtani. And even that was worth more than Ohtani because Trey Turner was a shortstop and he had a whole year left. So, and for that, the Nationals got 2 top 100 prospects and 2 other prospects who were kind of middling. So I would say the Angels would probably be looking at 1 top 100 prospect and maybe 2 or 3 other lesser prospects. So that's good. That's better than you're going to get for any other 2-month rental, but that's still not going to turn your franchise around and you're going to go to suddenly having a great farm system or having 2 positions filled. None of that's going to happen. So that's why it's kind of a tough spot for the Angels because, on one hand, you don't just want to give him up for nothing, but on the other hand, if you trade him, you're not really going to change the direction of the franchise in any meaningful way.